Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel BK Talent. My name is Bhupendra Kumar and skeleton of thorax is our today's topic. It is a very important topic to cover. We will cover today, and you know that we are covering the thorax series of the anatomy subject. So it is an important part of thorax. Last our previous video I explained about the introduction of thorax, and it is the second video of the series of thorax, skeleton of thorax. Okay, so what is the skeleton of thorax? We will understand in detail about the its topic and its related all the important point. So let's start the video. So skeleton of thorax. Before that, what we have to understand, what is the thorax? Thorax is a very important part of the body. It is when we will divide the trunk part into by the diaphragm muscles. So upper part made thorax and lower part made abdomen. Okay, so thorax is a upper chest. From anteriorly it is chest part, and from back side it makes a dorsal part of the thorax. So the thorax is also known as thoracic cage. Suppose its sternum and its ribs. There are 12 pairs of ribs which covers the and which help to make the thorax. So thoracic cage, it looks like a cage. Don't count this ribs. Actually, I just make it for as an example. Thorax is look like a cage. It means, and why it is looking cage? Why it is important to become a like cage? Because it helps to protect the internal organ, which are the very vital, which are the very important and vital organ for the body. Okay, it contain heart and lungs. So there are two major important organ situated inside the thoracic cage. It is also osteocartilaginous elastic. Why it is osteocartilaginous? It become a two word, osteo plus cartilage. Osteocartilaginous cartilage. Okay, it is osteo means it is a bone. Okay, ribs it's a bone, and cartilage, so it is a osteocartilage. Okay, this part is made up by cartilage. That is why it helps to expand from its normal position, then come to its original position. It has a property of elasticity. That is why when we inhale the air, it expand and the O2 comes inside the lungs. When we expel out the air, it's contract and the lungs become relaxed, and it comes its normal position. It is designated as an increasing and decreasing thoracic pressure, because when thoracic pressure increase, the oxygen comes to the inside the lungs, and when it's decreased, the oxygen expel out from the lungs. So now let's understand the next topic, its formation. Now we look at its formation. So the thoracic cage, when we will talk about anteriorly. Okay, first of all, you look, this side is an anterior. Okay, and this side, you may assume it's side the posterior. Okay, and this and that one, I'm talking about this portion. Okay, and it is not visualized, so this portion is a lateral. So how it formed? So anteriorly, the thoracic cage anteriorly formed by sternum. This is the anterior part, and it is formed by the sternum. Posteriorly, it is formed by 12 thoracic vertebrae and intervertebral disc. You can see these are the thoracic vertebra. Look, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. These 12 thoracic vertebra helps to format the posterior side of thoracic cage. Okay, and along with its internal vertebral disc, like means, yeah, this portion is also helps to format the posterior part of thoracic cage. This one, it's also called vertebral disc. Okay, so this part helps to format the posterior side of the thoracic cage, and on each side 12 pairs and cartilage helps to format the thoracic cage. Each side means this side and this side. Okay, this side you can see this ribs and this cartilage. Okay, so this cartilage and ribs are helps to format the lateral side, or you can say the each side of the thoracic cage. Okay, so these are the formation of the thoracic cage. So there are three types of ribs are found in the formation of skeleton of thorax. Which one is first? You can see the vertebro-sternal ribs, or it's also called true ribs. Why it is called vertebro-sternal ribs? Because it join from the, or you can see it connect from the vertebra and sternum. That is why it's called vertebro plus sternal ribs. And it's also called true ribs. Why it's true ribs? Because it's a fully joint from both sides, anterior and posterior. That is why it's called true ribs. Now the next one is vertebrochondral ribs. Okay, and it's also called false ribs. It is only joining from the posterior side of the vertebra. Okay, from the vertebra it is joined, only it is joined from the vertebra of the from the posterior side, and anteriorly it is joined to the chondral. It means it is not joined to the sternum, it is joined to the chondral or ribs cartilage, which is directly connected to the sternum. And it's also called false ribs because it joined from the one side of the posterior side of the thoracic cage of the vertebra. Okay, and it is not joined from the anterior side from the sternum. That is why it's called false ribs. Now the second, now the third is vertebral, and it's also called floating ribs. Why it's called vertebral or floating ribs? Because it looks like a floating, it looks like a floating. And why it is called vertebral? Because it joined only from the vertebra, not chondral or ribs or sternum from the anterior side. Okay, so that is why it's called vertebral or floating ribs. So there are three types of ribs. It's categorized according to its joining of their concerned part of the thoracic cage or skeleton of thorax. When thoracic cage expand and relax, or you can say expand and contract. Why it is happening? So it's responsible for its joint, when costovertebral, manubriosternal and chondrosternal joint permits movement of thoracic cage during breathing. Look, when we breathe the air, so it expand, and then why? Because air comes from into the lungs. So in this condition, this joint, sternomanubrial joint and costosternal joint, it is a costosternal joint because chondrosternal joint, because it is a chondral and it is sternal, it formed the joint here. Okay, so this chondrosternal joint, this manubriosternal joint, here is a manubriosternal joint, and this is a costovertebral joint, costovertebral joint. Here is a when ribs join from the vertebra, and it is a chondrosternal joint, and this is the manubriosternal joints. So these three joint gives the permission to expand when we breathe the air. So that is why it's expand, and the lungs and it's allowed to lungs to expand from the providation of the more space to the lungs. That is why air comes into the lungs and we take the breath properly. Okay, and when we expel out to the air from our lungs, so this costal cartilage comes to its original position. So that is why this is the procedure of exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Now look the clinical anatomy of the particular of one ribs, and it's called posterior curve and it is the anterior curve. When we face some injury, impact from any hard thing, or so it is the weak point of the ribs. So this weak point basically broken always occur. Okay, so you can say it is the fracture side of the rib at its angle always fracture can you can see. So the next one is shape. So when we look thoracic cage or the trunk, you can see these are the trunk, and it has been divided by diaphragm muscle, and it has a two part. Upper part makes thorax and lower part makes abdomen. Okay, so this thoracic part, this is a thorax. Okay, and it's above part. It is a above part of thorax. Its above part you can see the narrow. Its lower part form broad. This is the thoracic part. It can be divided into above and below. Its above part or format is a narrow, and it is continued on the above into the neck. Okay, and it's below completely separated from the diaphragm muscle. Okay, and it form as a concave, deeply concave from the upper side. Look, you can see that it is a deeply and concave with the root of neck and thorax. Its narrow part, above narrow part, it's thorax. Okay, so but above the thorax above part, it is look narrow and it is continued on the root of neck, but it is divided by the two part. How will we decide that what part is the root of neck and which is the above part of thorax? So it is divided by these portion. It's called suprapleural membrane, or also called Simpson's fascia. Okay, so it is a very important and according and related of the Simpson fascia, the question much will ask from on the annual exam of the medical field. Okay, so Simpson fascia plays a major role to divide root of neck and above part of the thorax. So it was all about the today's class. I hope guys you really enjoyed this video.